everybody, thanks for tuning into today's video. We're going to have a look ahead to the second half of August in this video, see what's likely to be happening in the next couple of weeks as we progress through to what will of course be the end of summer. Summer finishes, officially summer finishes on the 31st of August anyway. It'll be the first day of autumn on the 1st of September. Of course, meteorologically that's questionable. The weather doesn't plan out quite as well as that. You can get hot weather going on into September sometimes. But anyway, summer will be finishing in the next couple of weeks, statistically speaking at least. So we're going to have a look at the final couple of weeks of summer 2012 and see what may happen. Before we get on with the video, I just want to talk about the advertising. There'll usually be a video ad overlay my web videos at GavsWebVids.com. Please play those video ads. You'll be supporting GavsWebVids.com by doing that. So as we usually do with these videos, the first thing we're going to start off with is the 500 millibar height anomaly charts. Just quickly explain what you're looking at here. 500 millibars, 18,000 feet is an important area in the atmosphere because that's the area where we get high pressure and low pressure developing. It's as those high pressure and low pressure areas are moved around by the jet stream running above that really gives us weather. It's more complicated than that. That's the basic gist of the idea. So where we've got these below average heights, blue colours here, that's actually where we've got below average temperatures at 18,000 feet, and we extrapolate that area to where we've got low pressure. The above average heights indicated by the orange and the red colours, that's indicating above average temperatures at 80,000 feet, and that's where we've got high pressure at 18,000 feet. So these are the anomalies, height anomalies for 8 to 10 days time. So this is taking us towards next weekend. Actually, it's taking us towards the bank holiday period really. And what we're looking at first of all is the UTMWF here on the left, and we can see that actually we've got below average heights here over top of the British Isles. So this is going for a trough of low pressure to be developing over British Isles. Quite a pronounced trough as well. We can see that from the lines here. The lines are digging down across the country. So that's quite a pronounced trough really, setting up over the top of the country. The jet stream is digging back southwards again, as it has on and off throughout the summer. So that's really is quite a cool and unsettled chart. If that came off, we would be looking at quite a cool, unsettled bank holiday. The GFS height anomaly chart for 8 to 10 days time is very similar. Actually, we perhaps don't dig back to jet stream down quite as much as we do on the ECM. The trough perhaps isn't quite as pronounced, but nevertheless we've still got below average heights here across the British Isles, extending up towards Scandinavia as well. Those below average heights, the above average heights is pushed out to the west towards Greenland and well out into the Atlantic. So again, this is quite an unsettled looking chart really. It's quite a cool chart. The jet stream is digging southwards, and we've got this trough, although not as pronounced and deep at the trough here over British Isles. It is nevertheless still a trough really around the British Isles, would be giving us cool and quite showery weather. So if you have a look at the GFS ensembles, temperature ensembles for Manchester first of all, we can see that we are going to be going above average over the next few days. It's going to get quite warm, quite hot over the weekend. Not too hot in Manchester, but it'll be hotter further south. But the temperature's going above average for a few days over the weekend into the start of next week. But then notice how gradually those temperature lines do slowly sink back towards red line. Red, remember, is the average for the time of year, but red line, so the lines do sink back towards that red line, and eventually they go under that red line. Actually, most of these temperature lines indicate, but temperatures probably go below average in the final, I should say, week of August. Precipitation spikes on the bottom. We can see we've got a lot of precipitation spikes coming up. It never really settles down in Manchester over the next 2 weeks, 2 and a bit weeks. So yes, we do keep those spikes going throughout really, even during this warmer period. Actually, the weather never entirely settles down. That's because we're going to have a weather front really messing about and affecting central parts of the country in particular. But London ensemble is even more pronounced with the temperature rise that's coming up through the next 2 or 3 days. It is going to get hot over the weekend. Temperatures probably up to 32 Celsius, 90 Fahrenheit, as I've been explaining in the videos in the southeast of the country. But then notice through next week those lines slowly sink down, slowly sinking back towards that red line. So by the time we get to around the 23rd of August, those lines are coming back towards the seasonal average, and then the lines after that point do stay around that red line. In fact, get a bit underneath that red line, indicating temperatures dropping back to average, and then probably dropping below average. Now we have a look at the temperature forecast charts from the GFS model, broken down into weekly periods. This is the first weekly period, Thursday the 16th to Thursday the 23rd of August. We can see that most of the countries in these yellow colours, greens restricted to the north of Scotland. So yellow really is above average temperatures, actually, quite deep yellow here across southeastern parts of the country. It does indicate temperatures getting up towards the 90 Fahrenheit mark. But in the second week, this is taking us from Friday the 24th of August to Saturday the 1st of September, where you can see that those temperature charts do go back to green. We lose most of the yellows. The yellows become restricted to these far southern counties, most of the country back into the green colours, indicating temperatures in the fourth week of August, the final week of August, will be dropping down. So the anomaly for the next week is above average. We are going to be above average for the next week, with temperatures Thursday the 16th to Thursday the 23rd of August, but those anomalies will then probably go average or below average through the final week of the month. It's a similar story for precipitation below average for England and Wales for the next week, perhaps a little bit above average further north. But then once we get through to the second week, we find those those precipitation forecasts, I should say, going above average. So it does become cooler and wetter, I think, once we get through to the final week of the month. So just having a run through the charts. This is the situation for Monday. This is the pressure chart for Monday. We've got low pressure out in the Atlantic. Still got high pressure influences to the east country. It's still quite warm. Not as warm as it will be on Saturday and Sunday in the southeast, but still very warm, temperatures into the upper 20s at least. But then once we get through to the next few days, those temperatures do start to drop. So if we have a look at the upper air temperatures, we can see we've got some very hot upper air temperatures to come in the southeast. But notice how, as we run through the charts, those upper air temperatures drain away very gradually. So by the time we get through to Thursday the 23rd, the upper air temperatures are coming down towards where they should be for the time of year, and then beyond that the upper air temperatures actually go a little bit below average by the time we get through to the following weekend, the final weekend of August. All of the heat is gone away to the east, so temperatures will be dropping, I think, day by day through next week. They're going to peak those temperatures in the southeast on Sunday, and then very gradually they will drop after that, day by day through next week. By the time we get through to Friday the 24th, we've got low pressure out in the Atlantic. This is quite a cool, unsettled looking chart. This low pressure will be bringing rain in across the country, and then that'll set us up for a very unsettled weekend, probably with low pressure right over the top of the country for the bank holiday weekend. So not a very inspiring bank holiday weekend, with showers or longer spells of rain, and becoming very cool as well, if this is right, with winds going round to the north, feeding down some really quite chilly air. As we look at the ECMWF again, we're under a bit of a ridge here for Tuesday the 21st, so this is next Tuesday. It's still quite warm, this chart. The start of next week will still be quite warm, not as hot as it will be over the weekend, but still warm. But then as we run through next week, particularly the middle of next week, we will start to see the temperatures draining away, and the winds will go round to the west, feeding in cooler weather. This low pressure area again, this is the same low pressure area that the GFS was picking up on, is going to move in through a Friday and in towards the weekend. The bank holiday weekend does look like being very unsettled here, with showers, longer spells of rain, quite windy too. Isobars are tightly packed, so it will be quite windy, and it's cool as well, with winds from the west or northwesterly direction. And finally, for the Canadian model of GEM, again, it's an unsettled looking picture, or a more unsettled looking picture for the second half of next week, with low pressure moving in off the Atlantic, bringing in cooler weather, and then the low pressure really does take over as we go through towards and into the bank holiday weekend. Low pressure sitting right over the top of the country. It's going to be cool, showery, and very unsettled. So what we're looking at, I think, is some very warm weather, hot weather this weekend. It'll start off quite warm next week, but then as we run through the week, those temperatures will gradually drain away day by day we'll lose a few degrees, so that by the time we get through to the end of next week and into the bank holiday weekend, it is looking really quite cool indeed at the moment, and unsettled as well. Low pressure will increasingly coming off the Atlantic and give us quite wet weather, I think, as we go through towards the bank holiday weekend. So looking like a cool and unsettled bank holiday, and that then takes us, I think, through to the end of the month. It will be quite a cool and unsettled period right through to the end of August. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.